You've been told success is about getting more money, more status, more followers, more stuff, and more proof that your life means something. But what if the reason so many people feel exhausted, distracted, or anxious and empty isn't because they don't have enough, but because they've drifted too far away from themselves? So think about it. Most people, they wake up to alarms they hate, rush through routines they never question, and spend all day solving problems they don't care about, and then numb themselves at night just enough to repeat it tomorrow. Years pass, goals get checked off, yet something still feels off. Not because life is bad, but because somewhere along the way, the soul stopped being invited into the conversation. And the scary part is, this doesn't happen all at once. Nobody wakes up one morning and says, "Today I'm going to disconnect from who I really am." It happens quietly. You stop making time for things that once lit you up. You stop paying attention to what excites you. You become efficient at surviving and slowly forget how to feel alive. But there's something strange about the soul. It doesn't disappear. It waits. It whispers. It sometimes through restlessness, and sometimes through boredom, and sometimes through moments where you suddenly realize you're living exactly how you thought you should, but not how you truly want. And that uncomfortable feeling isn't always a problem to fix. And sometimes it's an invitation because your soul rarely screams. It taps you on the shoulder and asks questions most people avoid. And are you living intentionally? Or are you building something that matters to you? Are you becoming who you want to be? Or who everyone else expected? And those questions hit hard because they don't care about appearances. Your soul doesn't care how impressive your schedule looks, it cares whether your life feels real. And that's why some of the happiest moments people experience aren't expensive or dramatic, and they're weird simple. Sitting outside after a long day, finishing something meaningful, laughing until your stomach hurts, getting lost in creating something, driving with no destination, helping someone who can never repay you. Moments where time disappears because you're fully present. And presence might be one of the most overlooked forms of wealth in modern life. And everyone wants the freedom, but very few realize freedom starts with attention. And if your attention is controlled by notification, expectations, or comparison, and the constant noise, then your life slowly becomes controlled too. And your soul wakes up when your attention comes back to you, not to your feed, not to everyone else's opinions, to you. And that's why silence feels uncomfortable at first. In silence, there's nothing to distract you from your own thoughts. And for a lot of people, that's terrifying. But silence isn't empty. Silence reveals things. It shows what you've been ignoring. It reminds you what actually matters. And some people travel across the world looking for purpose only to realize they never spent 10 uninterrupted minutes on listening to themselves. There's also this myth that waking, your soul means quitting your job, moving into the woods, and becoming some enlightened mountain philosopher. And not true. Soul work isn't about escaping life. It's about, becoming present in it. You can wake your soul in an office, in a garage, in a tiny apartment, on a lunch break, or while raising kids, while rebuilding after failure. It starts when you stop living on autopilot. Start noticing the moments that give you energy instead of draining it. Start asking why you do what you do. Start replacing "I have to" with "I choose to" whenever possible. One small shift repeated enough times becomes a new life. And another thing nobody talks about is how much energy gets wasted trying to be understood by people who were never meant to understand you. You don't need universal approval to live authentically, And most meaningful paths, they look confusing from the outside. And every person who built something great changed directions, started over. They created art, launched a business, changed careers, or chose a different life. Probably looked irrational as someone else. And if your soul is asking for change, waiting for unanimous permission might keep you asleep forever. But waking up doesn't mean becoming reckless. It means becoming honest, and honest about what matters, honest about your habits, honest about your excuses, honest about whether your actions match your values. Growth becomes easier when honesty enters the room. And there's another truth people avoid too: comfort is addictive. Comfort feels safe because it protects you from the embarrassment, disappointment, and uncertainty. But comfort has a hidden cost. Stay there too long and your world shrinks. You stop trying, you stop wondering, you stop discovering. The soul doesn't wake up because everything becomes easier. It wakes up because you start moving again, because you become curious again, because you remember life isn't something to manage, it's something to experience. And experience requires participation, and that means making the call. Taking the class, starting the project, writing the idea down, going outside, saying no and saying yes, choosing differently, even if nobody notices at first. And one of the fastest ways to reconnect with yourself is to create, not because everything you make needs to become successful. Creation reminds you that you're alive. Write badly, draw badly, build badly, cook badly, create before you judge. People consume all day and wonder why they feel empty. Your soul often wants expression more than entertainment. And don't underestimate movement. Walk without headphones. Lift something heavy. Stretch, breathe. Your body isn't separate from your mind. Energy changes the perspective. Perspective changes the decisions. And decisions change your life. Also, pay attention to what you repeatedly admire in others. Sometimes jealousy isn't jealousy at all. Sometimes it's unexpressed desire. You see someone doing something bold and feel emotional because a hidden part of you recognizes something you abandoned. And that reaction might contain clues. Follow those clues. Ask what they reveal. Your soul leaves breadcrumbs. Another reminder is stop waiting to become fearless. Courage is rarely feels like confidence, and most meaningful actions happen while scared, uncertain, and imperfect. People imagine transformation as a giant breakthrough moment with dramatic music in the background. And most people, transformations are quieter. They happen when someone decides, I'm done pretending this is enough. Then they start doing small things differently. Days become weeks, weeks become months, and suddenly their life feels different because they became different. And maybe the biggest wake up call of all is remembering time is moving, whether you notice it or not. Someday, the version of you that exists only in your imagination, the one who creates, explores, builds, learns, risks, loves deeply, and lives intentionally, either becomes real or stays imaginary. And nobody can make the decision except you. There's no perfect moment coming. There's no magical permission slip. There's no future version of yourself arriving to save the present one. And the life you want starts being built the second you act like it matters. So today, ask yourself one question and answer it honestly. If nobody expected anything from you, what would you spend more time doing? Don't ignore the answer. Write it down. Protect it. Explore it. Because your soul might not be asking for a completely new life. It might be asking for you to come back. And when you do, you may realize you were never lost. You were just distracted. Thanks for watching today's video. If you found value in today's video, and just subscribe. That's all I ask. We are desperate for subscriptions here at this channel, and without the subscription, I can't grow here on YouTube. And I'd love to see you again. Come back, watch some other videos, and we'll see you tomorrow. I post 5 days a week now. I would love to see you back on the other one. Let's get through this life together, because it isn't getting any easier.